if this happens, you need to stop. So please, doctor, tell us.
So a lot of times guys won't realize that they're burning out because they're not tapped into what's happening in their bodies. Allergies, bowel issues, weight gain, you can't rest, or you feel like I'm at the movies with my spouse and I can't pay attention to the movie because I have to be constantly thinking about X, Y, or Z, or I'm constantly checking my phone. You have to start making time and space for your body to come down to zero. If you think that you could not take a vacation and not have your business fail, you're in trouble. If you've never been a CEO before, you don't know how to be a CEO. Screw you, screw your ambition, stop everything. You can drink Mai Tais on the beach while you have a company. It's possible.
I'm so glad I brought you in, Veronica. Let's go back to the basics. Okay. What is burnout?
Yeah, so burnout is a psychological and physiological, what a lot of people miss, a physiological state. So, take this fight, flight, freeze, appease. We've all heard of it. We're all pretty aware that, oh, scary, something's after me. So your body has a physiological, so first psychological and then physiological response to stress. Okay, today, emails pinging, the phone's ringing, my daughter's crying, I gotta go and pick up a prescription, and my company needs me. And if my company doesn't get me, I feel like I'm going to be a failure and I'm not going to have any money, which sends me into an existential crisis. Literally a physical, my well-being is suddenly at risk. And so every single day we're living at this kind of heightened point of stress. And burnout happens when the body says, I literally can't take this anymore. Stop. And everything starts to shut down. So your body will start to exhibit earlier symptoms like difficulty sleeping or not waking up feeling rested. You might start developing weird allergies. You might feel like you're just not laughing when things used to be funny. Like you're starting to have these like little examples, but eventually the body just like basically clotheslines you and says just halt completely. And that's the full burnout. It's like the system cannot take anymore, and it has tried to warn you in ways that you've been ignoring. So screw you, screw your ambition, stop everything. And then we don't want people in that state because it takes a long time to recover from it. So yeah, that's what burnout is.
Right. Amazing. So what are the main causes in your experience of founders' burnout?
Yeah, the first being, of course, just replicating the corporate structure. You can see my face, like,
the corporate structure. I'm trying to do that.
Corporate structure, gross, like meetings upon meetings that are often kind of useless. And then just busy work, like how, we have this idea of like, ugh, but we unfortunately replicate that work because we think it's somehow needed. Others like, why would they be doing it? Right. Additionally,
so as founders, we have that model of the organization, and we strive
this is what it looks like.
to be that because this is what success looks like.
Right. That's what a business looks like. Mm-hmm. And then if you are doing business well, which is typically if you're doing marketing well, let's be honest, then the more work comes in. And so this is why I was specializing in scaling ops as far as like burnout recovery, because as more work comes in the door as a founder, you're replicating what you knew as an employee, not what the CEO does. If you've never been a CEO before, you don't know how to be a CEO. You've got to read a million books, you got to listen to podcasts. And there's a lot of BS out there, like look out for the BS advice. But so all this work starts coming in and you're used to being the one doing it because you started as a freelancer, you started with a small team or whatever you were doing. You were the tech guy creating the SaaS offering. Now more work's coming in, more offers are coming in, more business development is happening, and you're still the one doing it, even though you're not supposed to. So a lot of people just don't know how to scale themselves out of the way. And that's what I said. Like when we have this laziness myth, it's a tongue twister, get ready.
Laziness myth.
So if I tell you I'm going to get you down to 10 hours a week in your business, you're going to freak out because that is illegal in the definition of success we have. And so then they stay in and then they stay burned out. Because if you've done your work right, you should not be in all of those meetings. You should, like, honest to God, you should be having maybe two meetings a week and letting your team do the rest.
I'm so glad I brought you in, Veronica. I just need to get it out right here, right now. I'm so
Thanks.
glad. This is great. This is
Thank
great.
you.
If you're ready to take your business to the next level, don't miss out on my free Burnout Free Business Guide. It's a simple 7-day plan to help you reset your relationship with your business, improve your mindset, and achieve more while staying balanced. You can download it right now by using the link in the description. So how can I identify the fact that I'm on the verge of burnout? What are the main symptoms entrepreneurs feel but don't call burnout?
So remember when you started this podcast, you started your business? For listeners, like that first day, I remember my first day as an entrepreneur. I sat on my porch. I had started a web development company. I sat on my porch and I was like, I get to draw for a living. Because I was sketching a website out. I get to draw for a living. Oh my God. Excitement, joy. It felt good. You feel embodied because suddenly you're doing something that's really 100% within your wheelhouse and within your
Yeah.
control. Like every
Yeah.
decision you've made because it was something that you wanted. And then if you compare, to now, right? There's a difference between, like when we have kids, right? Yeah, there's hard days. When we're married, yeah, there's hard days. But you don't leave your spouse. You don't abandon your children. Right? Like the divorce happens when something's really, really, really effed up. Right?
Yeah.
So business isn't going to be all like rainbows and butterflies, obviously. But if none of it is bringing you joy, like if it feels like every single day you wake up and you go, I don't care. Numbness is a really huge indicator. Feeling like it's heavy, like it's a slog, like you hate your employees. Oh my God.
What
All
about
of
if
that.
some days I wake up and I really want to go. Some days I wake up and I just don't want to get out of bed.
Right. Well, and so like if you have both, right, you're human. Third, like we have to talk about like there's
Thank you so much.
discipline, right? Like there is a difference between discipline and capacity, right? So like
Yeah.
discipline is literally just like you can do it, you should do it, you need to do it. Like, yeah, I know you don't feel like it, but capacity is like literally I physically, emotionally, in my nervous system cannot do this anymore. I cannot add anything more. If you think that you could not take a vacation and not have your business fail,
Mhm.
you're in trouble. You've got to be able to take time off.
Before you mentioned more signs like allergies. Can you repeat that? And maybe give us the whole bucket list.
Yeah, the bucket list is long and very individualized. So I'm not going to give the entire thing because I think it would be like as long as, like,
Of course, the aim is to help the entrepreneurs identify if
yeah,
they are on the verge of burnout, because we keep saying, okay, it's okay. It's just another day. It's just another one of those days. I can go on. I can go on. I can go on. And I don't want to
right.
admit it, and I don't want to feel like a failure. And no, I'm not burning out. That's I'm not like that sensitive or vulnerable or whatever. I'm the guy. I'm the CEO. Come on.
Truth
But
is like,
but sometimes you just need to someone or something to reflect the fact that, hey, if this happens, you need to stop. So please, doctor, tell us what
yeah.
do
And
what
I
do we
just
need to
want to
see to recognize?
like insert right in here
Sure.
that like
Sure.
men and women are both human animals. Your nervous system is working on the same emotional level, whether or not you've been socialized to recognize it. So a lot of times guys won't realize that they're burning out because they're not tapped into what's happening in their bodies and in their emotions. So
So
like,
true.
so yeah, allergies, if you're having a lot of like bowel issues, the bowel is so sensitive to stress. Same with weight gain, same with feeling like you again, like you can't rest. You can't rest and digest. Those two go together. So like if you can't get into your parasympathetic nervous system to chill out, or you feel like I'm at the movies with my spouse and I can't pay attention to the movie because I have to be constantly thinking about X, Y, or Z, or I'm constantly checking my phone. This like heightened vigilance right? It's not because like, oh, there's a deal about to go through and I'm really excited about it. And then once the deal goes through, you can let go. This is this constant heightened vigilance of looking for the lion, right? Like the radar is constantly up now because something's about to attack, even though it's not, it's just a business. But those are really, really great indicators to look for. Hypervigilance, digestive issues, allergies, an ability to feel like you can rest, an ability to take time away, even if it's just a spa day, which, you know, here in Germany, the spas are very, very well attended. And if you feel like
And
you
you go
can't
naked.
yeah, exactly. And so you cannot have your phone with you. Like you literally have to be fully cut off from the
Yeah.
world. And if you feel like you
Yeah.
can't do that for even 2 hours, which is like the
Right.
minimum, then yeah, you're probably starting to notice that. Also talk to your friends and family. They will tell you like the light's gone off. You don't come to see us anymore. You don't have time for us. I mean, these are if you're
You don't
getting those
smile.
types of comments, yeah, you really got to be thinking about what you're doing and start making lifestyle changes immediately because you don't want to get to the point where you're literally throttled by your body because then you don't have the room to make the changes in the company. And that is where everything falls off a cliff.
So that's my next question. Like, what's the highest or the biggest price that you've seen founders pay for not attending to those symptoms or trying to ignore the fact that they have burnout?
Yeah. I mean, I basically forced myself out of my first company because of burnout. So I sold my company. I managed to scrape by 6 more months to find a buyer. And so thank God, like I'm very proud of that. I'm incredibly proud of having found another woman in tech to take over the business that I developed. And I'm glad that, you know, I didn't drop my clients and leave them flailing for a new service provider. I'm really thankful that I didn't drop my team because they were and are amazing. It's been a decade and several of them are still working for the company. So that's good. But like I left the company because I was burnt out. So like any opportunity for myself dissolved. The worst case is that you can't dig out of you 6 months to find a buyer and work with a broker and you just let everything go. And so I know a woman who did that. I had a really hard time understanding why she did that at the time. And now I understand because it's like you put all this work in, your business is your baby, and then you are so burnt out that you can't work another day, not even to find a buyer for your company or at least your client list. That to me is enormously tragic. Not just, okay, it's bad for your clients, bad for your team, etc., but you put work in. And your labor deserves to be compensated, even at the 12th hour.
Yeah.
And so that to me is the tragedy. Not to mention the brilliance that we lose. Like think about so many social impact entrepreneurs who feel compelled to work very hard because they're working in an emergency already. Like these people who, and I'm one of them, right? Like so like I have a women's health tech startup and my hair's on fire every day because women's health is like so underserved. So the cause makes you move against your better instincts as well. And now imagine if I burn out of that and the whole possibility of maybe like fixing something or making something better for someone is gone. That's tragic to me.
Oh, hey, you're here. Listen, if you're liking this video, please hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel more than you know. Enjoy watching the rest of the video. So in your opinion, what do the best strategists, the Alex Hormozis, the Daniel Priestleys, those guys, which are great guys and I love them, but what do they miss when it comes to creating sustainable external success?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see a lot of the hustle culture coming in, right? Like I will say there's a place for it. Like that go, you can do it. Like
Great.
You need that in the beginning when you don't have confidence in yourself yet because you haven't had a first client, okay? But you don't need that to push yourself through the feeling of burnout. Like if you're noticing burnout, you do not need to hustle through it. In fact, you need to do the opposite. You need to slow your roll. So I think that's a major disconnect in like entrepreneurial messaging that like I know a lot of people who feel like, ugh, like I don't want to listen to all of these talking heads because they feel like they're pushing and shoving me. Look, you need that when you're just starting out. You don't need that when you are burning out.
So
Right.
why don't founders seek help earlier?
Oh my God, I don't know. No, I do know. I'm here. Like,
question.
let me help you. Oh my God, so much pride. So much pride. And you don't know, like you said, like what are the symptoms? Because like you don't know that this is not going to get better. You don't realize that you're already on the runway and burnout is at the end of it. And so you just think you need to learn more. You need to figure it out, take more courses, read more books, which is more work, by the way. So if you're already burning out, you've decided to give yourself more work and put more on your nervous system. And so, yeah, the reason that like coaching for CEOs works is because it gives, first of all, it restores hope. Just like burnout is hugely related to a lack of hope. It restores hope because now somebody else's brain is on the job too. And it relieves some of the stress because, okay, I've pulled in help, but it doesn't necessarily take more work. It takes somebody helping me to reframe. So, right, creating a personal paradigm shift, reframe what I'm doing, and who's already done it so they know the systems that I need. So I don't have to read all the books and then summarize them and figure out what will work for me and what doesn't. That's what the coach is doing. They will just give it to you and then you can start to implement and they will be with you along the way. But there's so much pride in there that it's very, very hard to say, I really need help.
For sure. Let's say I'm that guy. And to be honest, I'm that guy. So please have compassion for me and help
Always.
me make the first step, even though I feel this pride or whatever, something is stopping me to just say, hey, I need help, or I need to get this checked out or get attended to, or just talk to someone. So what's the first thing? What's the first step I can do that will not hurt my pride, but, just help me move forward with whatever it is that's holding me back?
Awesome. I mean, first of all, excited to work on this with you. So you're going to hear from me. Let's do this because I'm coming in with fresh energy. You're tired. I have fresh energy. I'm going to get nerdy with you. Let's do an inventory. Let's just take a look at what you're doing. We're not going to do any work yet. We're just taking inventory. What are you doing every day, every week? What's happening? And what are you using in order to do the work? Because I will betcha, and as somebody who has helped scale podcasts too, I will betcha you're doing work that technology could do for you for cheap or for free.
For sure. Out of technophobia.
Understandable. I mean, like, understandable, right? Some invalidate you. Understandable.
Yeah.
So then let's see if we can make some choices that are ethically aligned with your values as an entrepreneur. Like every entrepreneur has their own set of values they're living by, right? So let's see what we can automate while making technical choices that align with your values.
All right. So
we
are heading straight into the main solution, and I have a specific question about that.
Okay.
But before we go there, let's go back a little bit and talk about maybe some recovery tips or reset routines. Like what can I immediately do when I feel one of those systems come up tomorrow morning before even meeting you and going through the whole 5-step process that we're going to talk about later?
Yep. The first thing you need to do is start taking care of yourself in a different way. So remember that it's psychological and physiological. Burnout is psychological and physiological. So we can take care of the psychological bit by hiring a coach. So working together, now you have more hope and you have somebody to help take some of the stress from you, right? You don't have to figure it all out now. I will help you, right? But the physiological has to happen too. So maybe it's time boundaries. Maybe it's batching your work in a different way. We will figure that out. Maybe it's making space for something like going to the spa, taking a bath at home, asking your spouse to take the kids for an hour a week, whatever. Like, you have to start making time and space for your body to come down to zero. My favorite kind of technique I've been using lately for myself, especially on Mondays, my Mondays are stacked because that's when all the meetings happen. That's my freelance meeting, that's my startup meeting, and that's also I run a magazine. That's when my magazine's meetings are happening, and it's like boom, 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 back to back. Usually I have like about 10 minutes between them. And so a lot of people will call this like touching grass, but I can't touch grass because I live on the third European floor, fourth floor for Americans. There's a tree right outside my window. So I go and sit with my legs out the window in the summer, and just watch the tree and have a moment of this Japanese word ma. It's just M-A, ma. And what that means is nothing's happening. I let the tree happen. I'm not happening. I watch the tree happen. I watch the cars happen. I watch the people happen, the birds happen. I'm not happening. Everything else around me, I'm just for 5 minutes before I run into the next meeting. So you can do this. You can start to let your nervous system come down even in micro moments throughout your day.
So that resets the nervous system. Is that what it does?
Yep, it does. It allows your body to come down. Another one that folks like to use is shaking. We've observed in animals that, in prey animals specifically, if they are attacked and they escape, right? Now you have all this adrenaline. You're like, woo, right? Like the fear, the adrenaline, but now the danger's gone. How do you get down from that? You don't just go about your day. They shake. You'll see them shudder because their nervous system is
like
getting
like the duck with the wings after
with the wings. We see gazelle do it. And so we noticed that dancing is similar to that because dancing without trying, right? So like, don't try to look cute, just dance. It's that kind of like free for all body movement is also a really good way to get your nervous system to come down. I would also be saying start using Pomodoro, which is that timer where you work 25 on, 5 minutes off. And it goes off. So it will shock you out of, I've had it scare me before because I also have ADHD. And so I'll be in a focus state and then the bell goes off and I go, oh my God, get up, move around, get your brain out of that. Because as you well know, when you're in a focus state, you can work for hours and you don't move, you don't eat, you don't pee. And all of a sudden you're in a bad physiological state. So I would be examining your workday with you to start to understand, like, where can we build these things in?
Oh, hey. If you've been watching so far, that tells me you're getting value from this video. So please write a comment, ask a question, and I'd love to support you further. I want you to help me define a bad physiological state and explain the term bringing it down to zero.
I mean, okay, so these are a little bit of my own terminologies, but a bad physiological state is probably most relatably recognized if you're really, really angry at your computer for no reason. Like everything's pissing you off. The keyboard, like your keyboard's your punching bag. You're probably not okay anymore, and you haven't recognized it yet because you're not. We get like tunnel vision, right, into our work.
Right.
We forget our bodies exist, which is again why how many times have you forgotten to pee? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And so
you get up and you just can't get up from the chair because your body's like stuck.
Right.
In
you're like all cramped.
mode.
You're like physically shaped like a chair now, right?
80 years
Get an
old.
up down desk. Get an up down desk. Oh my God. So that's what I mean by bad physiological state is like you're wound up so tight that you don't recognize that you are more than a head anymore. And it's coming out probably in anger. Anger is a protective emotion. So it makes you stand up for yourself. That's what anger does. That's why we get angry. And then you need to take appropriate action. Appropriate action for entrepreneurs is get up, move around, calm down, breathe, eat, drink some water, right? Yeah.
You're realizing
bring it down
that
to
if
zero
you don't do that, realizing that if you don't do that, you're going to
you're going to go to bed with that, and then you're going to dream like that. You're going to sleep like that, and then you're going to wake up and start compounding it. So that's what I mean by come down to zero. What's your most feeling of calm, right? So that's like the neutral nervous system state. That's where you should be going to bed. Like do a brain dump before bed. I have all these techniques, but get it all out so that you can go to bed at neutral. ideally. And then you're waking up at neutral, so that instead of waking up at, like let's say like 100 is burnout. So like you get to 10 today, you go to bed at 10, you wake up tomorrow, and then you put another 20 on that. And then all of a sudden it's cranking up day after day, and you're only, sleep is only taking you down by 2.
What's your favorite technique of all the techniques that you use? Your personal favorite?
Well, so we haven't actually talked about systemizing the business yet, and that's what I really, really like. Somebody with ADHD, and also PMDD, for those that haven't heard of this, it's premenstrual dysphoric disorder. So like a receptor in my brain doesn't work properly. So when my hormones switch, I lose all my serotonin. And for anyone who has played with fun chemicals, you probably know that having no more serotonin is a really bad feeling. So,
Right.
So that also means that there's a few days a week that I can't work. I actually physically, emotionally cannot work. So systems rescue your humanity from the company. And that, I would say, that's my absolute like must do. Every single company I touch, we're going to systemize it. You have to.
And for who of you that will stay with us until the end, they will get the exact recipe of how to build those systems and do what will help you to avoid not just avoid burnout, not just make it go away, but make it stay away.
Make
So
it stay away.
stay away. Did you like it?
Stay away. No
Stay
burnout
away.
here. Screw you,
Veronica.
burnout.
So in your opinion, what should be the core objective for someone who, and this is what you like to talk about. So what should be the core objective for someone who wants to avoid burnout in the first place? And how does that look like? I'm talking about taking yourself out of the equation, the vacation tests or
Okay.
whatever. Yeah.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will then come back to systems, because you
Yeah.
can't take a
Let's go there.
vacation. Let's just say, okay, I want to take a vacation. I've only got two teammates, let's say. Like you might have some other like freelancers around floating around the company, but you really only have
But
two
let's go
people
one step before that. You're saying if you're not taking a vacation, the objective would be to be able to do that and to actually do that. You need you need to build your business so you will be able to take a vacation basically
Yeah.
whenever you want. If
Yes.
you're not, if the business is not dependent on you, if you're not like, if you don't have to be in the equation all the time, then you can afford. But isn't that like step 2, the vacation? Sorry if
Okay.
I'm,
No, it's
yeah,
great. Yeah, you're doing the right thing.
thank you.
So in burnout, yeah, taking time away is mission critical.
Mhm.
Honestly, I would have you take months away, but you're not going to want to come back to the way it is now.
Right.
So the triage is taking those micro moments every single day, taking a full day. You will almost never see me do work on Saturday or Sunday. It's
Mhm.
super rare, because
Mhm.
I'm like militant about Saturday and Sunday
Mhm.
are fun days.
Mhm.
Period. You don't get me on those days. And same with not working past 6 p.m. I do it sometimes because, yes, I do work with American companies.
Mhm.
But if I do that, then I block my morning. So I goof off in the morning, right? So I recognize how much I've got in a day energetically, and then, right? So that's what we do, is triage in the meantime. If you're going to take a vacation, so to kind of, I'm going to do 2 steps forward and then come back.
Sure.
If you're going to take a vacation, somebody has to know how to work the company without you. In order to do that, then to come back to the middle point, you have to have good systems, and not just good systems, but well documented systems, so that if you're on vacation and something goes wrong, they know what to do, because all they have to do is look in the docs rather than call you. So it's not a matter of just getting the systems going so that everything's working right, and then we've automated so that you're doing less in the first place, and then we've systemized so you don't have to think as hard, and you can hand things off easier, you can start to delegate better. Systemizing does a whole lot of great stuff for your company. But if it's not documented, you still can't take a vacation, because if something does break, they're going to call you. You're the go-to guy. And so that's what we would be working on. to get all those systems really, really hammered out and well documented. And as we do that, your time starts to fall off. We automate so that your time falls off. And then we start to systemize. Your time falls off. You start to delegate. Your time falls off. Now go take a vacation because you're already only working 10 hours a week. They don't need you. Yeah.
And even
so
if
I
you
told
don't,
you actually.
so you do that systemizing as if you are going to go away on a long extended vacation while your business is working. And that way,
Yes.
even when you're there, you're not that stressed because you know, hey, I'm choosing to be here right now. I can also not be here, and that reduces
Yes.
your stress.
Yeah, because then
Yeah,
you aren't
got
afraid to come back from vacation.
it.
I
Gotcha.
told you that, while I was on that 3-week backpacking trip, I actually got a resignation from one of my writers. So they did have to call me. And they called me and I said, okay, we've got to triage this. Here's the document. I called in somebody who was a pinch hitter content writer for that. And I said, here's the client, here's the documentation, here's how we do it. Go do it. The deadlines were already set. Everything was already easy. Boom. It took me an hour to fix the problem because it was already set and ready to go for anybody. So that's the thing. Like, your documents need to be ready for somebody who's never touched your business, not for the people who've already been trained.
Right. So to avoid burnout, the core objective would be to systemize your business in order for you to feel and recognize that the business is not dependent on you. Like get the weight off your shoulders and actually reduce your hustle time so
Yeah.
you can start working on doing the stuff that you actually want to be doing and
Yeah.
enjoy doing and feel your contribution while doing. Am I
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can drink
Um,
Mai Tais on the beach while you have a company. It's possible.
right. And even if I don't, I can just
You can
just
go, yeah.
sit in my
Play with your
office and
kids.
dream about it and
Yeah.
still like
Do what, yeah. Like, don't feel like working that much today. Fine. Send a few emails, then go for a walk, then come back and do whatever, then go for another walk or go play with your kids or, go for a bike ride, go travel over to the country and work on, Tether on your phone for a minute.
So you talk about core values of freedom and peace. What does each one mean in your approach, and how does a founder get to freedom and peace?
Yeah. So freedom to me is just